Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a little while now. Um, got a minute or two free here, so I'm gonna try to sit down and do a quick tutorial on how I'm doing these little pirate guys. I've done several of them lately. I think I got the process down good enough that I could show you pretty easily on video here. So sit tight and let me get things ready here, and we'll go through the process. All right, so let's go over real quick what we need for this project. We need our little corner block here. This one's 2 inches by 2 inches by 4 inches long. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm doing my best to film here. I hope you bear with me. All I got access to is my phone, and I hadn't really figured out the best way to set up to film these things with it. First step on these that we need to do is get our hat started. We need to, if you wait until the end, I can assure you, you will not have room to get the hat in there like you want it. So I'm gonna go and mark off a spot on either side of the corner there. Then I wanna figure out how tall I want the front of that hat to be. Just make a little tick mark. Just for reference, I'm about 2.5 centimeters down there. I really don't measure these things at all. Just kind of use my knuckle as a guide and get everything pretty even, and that ain't anywhere close. So let's redo that. There we go. And just play connect the dots there. So here's gonna be the sides of our hat. That still doesn't look right. Let me get that one there. There we go. So this is going to form the top of that, or I guess the side pieces on the hat there. And this is going to be just real quick. Pop those off. Go. See if I can get this camera adjusted a little bit better for you. There we go. That looks better. This is the style hat I'm going to be going after here. So, of course, you can see this one considerably smaller. Use whichever size piece you're comfortable using. But now we want to come down a little bit off of that corner. And make the sides of the hat. This is going to be an angled cut. What that's going to do is form the side, that corner of the hat, and then also his hair or beard or whatever you want to make it. Do the same thing on the other side. They don't have to match at all, but I'm gonna try to get them fairly even. Something like that. Now, if we want to look here on the profile of this thing, we want that front corner kind of sticking out just a little ways. So easy enough to do here. We're just gonna bring our knife and right about here where the bottom of that hat's gonna be, I'm gonna put in a stop cut. And just do a rolling cut down to that. Put that stop cut in a little bit better. And we're gonna bring that all the way around. Really try to make that corner stand out. Sorry, y'all, I'm gonna try to get this thing right. I am a bit of a Luddite. I don't really do too well with technology. And I'm trying to figure this out on the fly. So, hope y'all bear with me while I screw up considerably. So you can see there, it's starting to take shape. Now, we need, in order to form the bottom edge of that hat, we've got to reverse where that stop cut is. So we're going to push wood back up to it and put that stop cut in a little bit deeper. There we go. Something along those lines. So that's a start on it. We'll adjust that as we go along, but that gets us in the ballpark. Now, generally, when I do a face like this, I start by locating the nose. However, with this one, I'm kind of trying to watch what I'm doing through my viewfinder on my phone. I see the focus bouncing in and out, and sorry if that's distracting. Hopefully you guys can keep up with what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna come down just a little bit below the top of that hat, put in a pretty heavy stop cut to form his brow line. And then I'll generally push that wood back a little bit, try to get these somewhat even. There we go. And then I'll come down off the side and put in the planes for his eyes. That ain't looking too hot right now, so we need to clean that up a little bit. Need a little bit more room to work with, so bring that down a little farther. There we go. That's more better. Try to get these even. Push that nose back just a little bit. Shave some more off here. One more cut to kind of set that in place. There we go. That's more along the lines of what I'm looking for. Now, of course, he's got a great big old nose sticking out there now because we had to remove so much wood through here. You know, if you want that big snoz stuck out there, leave it be. I'll generally trim that down a fair bit, and of course, kind of remake my corner there. So I've got a decent center line to work off of. So that nose don't look anywhere near even, but I think we can make that work. And just like anything else, you can do this a dozen times without any trouble. And the first time you got a little bit of pressure on you, doesn't want to cooperate. But I think we're in the ballpark now. Now let's figure out where the sides of his face is going to be. We got the hat coming in this far. I'm accounting for, you know, some wild, crazy hair sticking out. So I want to tuck that face back in just a little ways. Say about like that. Oh, sorry. If any of you know anything about filming and know how to keep the camera from doing that, feel free to chime in. I'd appreciate it. Maybe I got it now. So we're just going to take kind of a corner cut out right here to form a side of the face here. Do the same thing on the other side, and actually, I think I got them a little bit too wide. I'm going to bring that in just a touch. Something like that. And we're going to take out a pretty good sized chunk to form the sides of his face here and get those sideburns back there behind his temple and forehead. Smooth out to the side a little bit, take some of them corners off. All right, we're back in action. I'm saying we want to kind of smooth these corners off a little bit. Round that face off just a touch. Kind of even things out. And make sure we got those eye planes pretty even. But for these guys, I don't worry about too much about them being absolutely even. So come back and take some more wood out of here. Kind of shape that hat as we go. Something like that. Let's get him a nose. So I'm going to come somewhere in this range. Stop cut, relieve up to it. It's about like that. At least. There we go. Take a little bit of this wood out below here. But leave plenty of meat. We're going to give him a big woolly mustache and beard here shortly. Shave those wings back just a little bit. There we go. Now, for this part, I like to take the tip of my knife, put it right there in that corner, and just make a swooping cut across his cheeks to kind of set the bridge of that nose, thin those cheeks out just a little bit. Hopefully you guys see what's going on there. Do the same thing on the other side. Now this side you're going to kind of bump up against grain a lot of times. It gets a little bit more difficult to get even. You might have to take a couple passes to smooth things out. Even the bridge of that nose out just a hair. You know, the way I look at it, these guys are spending months at a time on the boat, in the salt water, drinking rum, eating coconuts. They're going to look a little rough and haggard, so, you know, don't get too caught up in making every cut perfect. There we go. So now I'm gonna take a little corner cut out of here. Finish forming off that nose. Start setting where the cheek's gonna be on them. The same thing on this other side. Trying my level best to get them even. Probably be easier if I measured, but not really my MO. And see where we're going there. The nose ain't the least bit even. We might just have to live with it. So from here, I want to give him a pretty good sized mustache. I'm going to come something along those lines. Just follow the line up. I'm going to come on the back side here, remove that sliver out. Do the same thing here on the other side. There's the beginnings of it. Shape things up just a little bit. Round that dental mound over some. And put the bottom of his mustache in somewhere. Oh, let's say about right here. And generally with these guys, I kind of like to give them a little bit of a snarling face. So one side of that mustache is going to be kicked up a little bit farther than the other. No big deal. We'll make that work. There we go. Well, let's finish off the sides of his face here. I'm going to just take this line pretty much straight down to, maybe not quite that far. Good ways down the side of that mustache. Something like that. Same thing on the other side here. Boom. Now, again, we're talking about a haggard old pirate, so we don't want big old puffy, jolly cheeks on him. Let's bring those back a good bit. Something along those lines. And then come back and kind of clean up the side of his face a little bit. Actually, trim that down some. Right there at his temple. There we go. Now we need to give them some eyes. So these eyes are some that I got from the CCA book. The Eyes Have It. It's the Chris Weatherby style that he did in there, but I've been kind of playing around with on these. We're going to make kind of a diamond pattern. Now, since I want him to look a little meaner, I want that brow to be furrowed a good bit. I'm going to bring this side down a little bit shorter. Now we take that back into that corner just like that. This is the area I was saying that having a little finer tip helps, so I'm going to cheat. Just sitting there, it's going to be well, it is a one knife project for me, but I'm using another blade. So if you got you an ore carver, good for you. This is a spot where to break out that little blade. And we're going to push the knife straight into that corner, straight into that corner. Take out that chip. Come to the opposite side, do the same thing. Straight in, straight in. Take out that chip. Now, we're going to do the same thing for the top and bottom corners. Go straight in. Go straight in. Take out that chip. Bottom one, you're going to end up taking out a decent sized chip out of this corner here. Because we want this eyeball to be fairly rounded in here. So we need to remove out a good bit. Now, just follow those lines, connect the dots. And kind of thinking round as we go, round everything over. Have to go back in those corners, take out a little bit more. That's fine. There's the beginnings of an eye on this guy. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Use outside corner. Pop out that chip. And again, top and bottom. And then connect those dots. Kind of round things over as we go. here on these inside corners, I'll kind of clean up the bridge of that nose a little bit. There we go. So for his eyelids, for the bottom one, I'll generally go pretty much straight across. And then for this top one, something like that. I'm just gonna run that stop cut straight across. Being careful not to split those wood fibers out. And then straight across the bottom, boom. And these corners, what I'm gonna do is get my stop cuts in, and then I wanna put another stop cut right there, and just take out that side. And then kind of smooth things out. Do the same thing on his inside. So I'll put a pretty heavy stop cut in right there. Pretty heavy stop cut in right there. Then I will run right up the inside of that eyeball and come back and take that little sliver out. So there's that one. Do the same thing on the other side here. Straight across. Straight across. Stop cuts in. Make sure I've got stop cut taken out of the back off that side, and then take that sliver out. There we go. On the inside of it. Good stop cuts, and run up right on the inside of that eyeball. So there we go. Let's clean up those eyelids just a hair. Now for his pupils, you got a couple ways you can go about this. You don't have to carve them at all. I like to make these a little bit off center, kind of like he's looking to the side. Excuse me. Since I'm kind of committing to doing this with just this one knife, I'll show you how I do it with it. You can always take a little dockyard tool or something, pop that out. You can leave it plain and paint it, but what I'm gonna do here is just take that knife tip straight in on either side of that dot. Put me a pretty heavy stop cut in on top and bottom. And then you take just a little bit of finagling, but usually you can get that to pop right out. May take a couple swipes to kind of get it even, but we can get pretty close. There we go. We'll do the same thing on this other side. This one can be a little bit harder to get into because you're up against that nose there, but maybe a couple of good deep cuts. Good stop cut. Good stop cut. We'll just pop that out. All right, this other side, here's where it gets hard. If you scuff up the nose, no big deal, just kind of clean it up. Something like that. Let's address the mouth here. Give me some good stop cuts in those corners. Take that corner out. Take that corner out. And of course, we're going to need to trim off some wood here. I like to make these mustaches on these guys kind of stand out pretty proud from the beard. I think it's just a neat little detail on them. I'm gonna give them a little bit of a mean mug. We'll just bring that right around. Leave that wood above it. Clean that up. Get a little hangnail out of the corner there. And kind of round this over as I go. You know, that dental mound is fairly round, so we want to tuck these sides of the mouth back in just a hair. Kind of creates some depth there, and it makes the overall piece look better. The bottom lip, I'm just going to come right below it and kind of do a little bit of a roll as I push in there and roll back up to it. Do the same thing on the other side here, just roll down, roll up to it. So that's, in general, it. Shape things up a little bit there. You know, I don't like to give them nice, even, bushy beard like I would on a Santa or something. I want this hair to be kind of wild and crazy. Switch my blades back out. Take out some of this meat back here. Oh, about forgot. Let's finish up his hat. So, right here where we set that mark earlier, we're going to kind of make a V cut right here. So just stick that knife tip in there. Be careful here because that's going to be a spot where that blade can come flying out. Go easy on it. Don't have any meat behind there whenever it does. So do the same thing on this side. This is the spot where you really got to watch it. Try to get where you can see, but keep my thumb safe. So now I'm going to go in right in the bottom of that corner. Stick my knife blade in there fairly deep. Do it on both sides so that I've got a good stop cut. And I'm going to take that pretty good chunk of wood out right there. Just going to take a couple passes to get clean, and that'd be all right. See where it's kind of starting to go there. So what I'm trying to do here is get the crown of that hat set back behind here. So now I will come right behind that corner, put me a decent stop cut in there, and I want to, just a second. All right, let's get back after here. We want to form the crown of that hat, and this just takes a little bit of time. There we go. There's one side. I'll probably come back, clean that up a fair bit, but I just want to give you a general idea of what I'm doing right now. Again, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You don't have to get that crown back super far. We just want to give the impression of it being behind the corners here, as it looks better on the finished piece. Something like that. I'll probably end up taking that back a fair bit more, but maybe not a whole lot. Kind of round things over and probably bring the top of that crown down just a hair. We just want to see just a little bit of it peeking up back there. So there we go. You know, you can add details in to the hat all you want. You know, I got the swords on that one. I've done skull and crossbones. This one I just kind of put a trim around it. But that gets us, you know, in the ballpark. I will a lot of times come back in with a number 9 or something and add some extra detail there, just to kind of make those corners flare out just a little bit. You can do the same thing, you know, especially if you've got a little bit of an upswept knife. Take some curls out of there. And now, let's give them a big, mean, furrowed brow. So we're just gonna take that corner out right there. End up probably pushing that forehead back just a little bit farther. Something like that. And for the beard details, however you want to do that it's up to you. You know, I like, again, this isn't a Santa. I don't want a big, fluffy, nice looking beard. I want this thing to be ragged looking, wild hair. So, well, just some nice heavy cuts in there. Kind of shape things with the knife as I go. Bring it on around here, same thing. Make these things fairly heavy. Try to avoid, you know, straight lines. And you can sit and add as much detail as you want to them. This one here, if you can see, I mean, that's just straight knife cuts, you know, all the way around. I won't I won't make you sit and watch me do all of that. But you can do it that way. If you want to. See on this one, I actually took one of my little dockyard tools and put some wavy lines in there. You could use a V-tool, you could use whatever you want to texture your beard. But that's the gist of it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it, you got some good information out of it. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you want to share it, I'd appreciate it. Help me get this channel beefed up a little bit. Sorry about that. Again, content's going to be sporadic, but hopefully what does end up getting posted on here is worthwhile to somebody. So thank you all, and I will see you later.